Pong Stars and to our two candidates to our assistant commissioner debate of 2024. It's such an honor to have both of you here. We, of course, have team owner and treasurer Sam Olson joining us all the way from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and assistant commissioner and 2018 champion Lucas Lawrenson joining us from Maple Grove, Minnesota. Welcome to you both, and thank you for stepping up to the plate to do your part in the Pong Stars League. We are going to begin with an opening statement from each of you. And in your own words, tell us why we should be looking forward to your candidacy for Assistant Commissioner. We'll start with the current Assistant Commissioner, Lucas Lawrenson.
Well, thank you so much, Commissioner Zack. It's been a pleasure to serve this community as the Assistant Commissioner, and how could I not run again? It's just been such an amazing experience, and I can't believe the amount of power that you've allotted to me. And I feel like I've handled it pretty well. We've had the crime has not gone up at all in the league, except maybe some drunk driving with some of the younger NFL players. But I'm looking into it. But, since having a child and becoming a father, I've learned a lot from that as well. And I feel like I can take my experience raising a child, and I can really raise this league to the next level as assistant commissioner. So I would like to leverage that and be reelected, not just as Kukak, but as Dad Kak, and try to build a family with everyone here. So that's what I'm looking forward to do for the year 2024 as Assistant Commissioner, Dad Kak.
Excellent. Thank you, Assistant Commissioner. Over to Treasurer Olson here. Your opening statement.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner Eichten. So I am the current sitting commissioner or treasurer of the Pong Stars Fantasy Football League. In that role, I've served now for just under a year, helping with our league finances, making sure that they're safe and that payouts get processed orderly, and then specifically overseeing the interest bearing of the dynasty pot that will continue to grow throughout the years. I've taken that job pretty seriously. I've done a pretty decent job of it so far. I look forward to doing it again this season, on top of hopefully being able to be your assistant commissioner, and just take the experience that I've had as the treasurer for the last year and really move forward in that respects, take on more challenges, as I do have a little bit more free time in the winter with the golf season around here not really being one that is year round, even though we are in South Dakota. We're just not that far south. So that's kind of where I'm at. I want to take a step forward and help keep this league as one of the best fantasy football leagues in the country.
Excellent. This first question will be for both of you here. And it's a pretty easy softball over the plate, and we'll start with Treasurer Olson. What is your proudest achievement while in the Pong Stars Fantasy Football League?
The proudest achievement I have had in the Fantasy Football League, probably, that's a good one. I did have a second place finish one year. That was pretty decent. I think that was the COVID year though, so I don't know if that has an asterisk or not.
There are certainly seasons with more asterisks.
I think the biggest accomplishment that I've had is helping the restructuring of the punishment and or last place losers bracket, being a team that has not had the success that I would like. I have found myself in that spot many times, and I think getting that reformed and changed to a much more inclusive and fair ending to the season, I think will just make this league that much better going forward.
And we'll certainly come back to your role in that in a few questions here. Lucas, Assistant Commissioner Lawrenson, over to you. What is your proudest achievement while in the Pong Stars League?
I did really enjoy winning the little carrot pin that I can wear on the lapel of my jacket. aside from that, just the camaraderie that this league brings. I feel like it's been nice to be a part of the community. So not really my proudest moment, but it's something that I look at fondly, is just the kind of friendship that we have with each other, and just the fact that I'm able to get along with everybody. And I think, let's see, I also did like stirring the pot a little bit with that Tony of shenanigans. What was that? Was that last year or the year? The keeper gate.
Oh my God, that was
Wait, was this the original Keeper Gate where it was Thomas and I and trading James Conner like the day of the draft?
No,
or are you talking the other Keeper Gate?
That was when I tried to emulate the other what you guys were doing with Tony.
Oh, where you get the extra, like, oh, where you get an extra keeper?
Yeah, or whatever that was. That was kind of funny.
Because famous pot stir in the assistant commissioner's office, Lucas. Lucas, this next question is just for you. On the scale in the league of fantasy to football, you're clearly at the fantasy end of the spectrum, and your football knowledge has frequently come under attack from others in the league. How would you respond to these attacks?
Well, I'll have you know that I played defensive tackle in high school.
You have the build for it, so that makes sense.
Yeah, so I'm huge, very tall. The camera, and when you see me in real life, a lot of times I think there's maybe some mirror shenanigans going on. I'm actually like 6'5", not 5'6". So a lot of people get the numbers switched around. So I think that's the problem. So yeah, I was incredibly successful as a defensive tackle in high school, and I believe we won the high school Super Bowl. And I have a big ring, but it's at my parents' house, so I would show it off. So I know ball because I played ball. So
excellent.
And all of these things are totally true and not made up.
You got a guarantee there. No falsities. All right, Sam. This next question is for you. Over here at Pawn Star Studios, we actually received some exclusive footage that I want your reaction to.
He said, he goes, hey, you hear him? He goes,
I want your reaction here, Sam, from this clip. What were you trying to say in this moment, and do you think this is conduct befitting of the assistant commissioner of the Pawn Stars Fantasy Football League?
One, I was mimicking somebody who was ordering drinks at the bar that ordered in just vowel sounds. And the bartender did serve them 3 more Long Island iced teas. So in that retrospect, I think it doesn't really matter as an assistant commissioner that I was mimicking somebody who was ordering drinks at the bar at a college bar when we were 22 years old. Now 27 and live nowhere near the Midi and $3 Long Island iced
28,
teas.
Sir.
Oh shit, yeah, I am 28. Yeah, whoops, 28.
Fact check in real time.
Yeah.
God, I wish they would do that in real debates.
Yeah, that would be something.
But
debate. No, I don't think that was all that bad of a video. That was really all it was. I was just mimicking somebody who was ordering drinks at the bar, and that is how they ordered them, with just vowel sounds, and the bartender did serve them. So really the bartender shouldn't have overserved somebody like that. And at the same time, that was a while ago, and I live nowhere near $3 Long Island iced teas.
All right. Interesting response. Lucas, as you brought up earlier in your opening statement, you recently had a child, Lowen Lowenson, who is a delightful young lad who is sure to take your place among the greats of the Pong Stars League one day. I will have a question, though, here. How are you going to be able to balance the extensive duties of the assistant commissioner with your new and growing family?
That's a lovely question, Commissioner Eichten. Well, I could be both a very active father with my son and also an active assistant commissioner as well. And their two are mutually exclusive. And you see, or alternatively, what I could do is I could be father for the league and I could be a deadbeat dad, but I'm not going to do that. So instead, I'm going to play an active role in both lives, similar to what I do in my real life. I actually have a secret other family that I also have to attend to as well. And since nobody has ever heard about it, I'm doing a good job with that. Except, actually, can we redact this? Now they're not a secret family anymore, so I think I should.
Yeah, we'll cut that. We'll cut.
Just kidding. But I have been able to return to work at my normal job as well as also tend to family matters at home. So since I've been able to balance my professional life and my family life at home, I would also be able to leverage that ability when it comes to taking care of responsibilities as assistant commissioner and taking responsibilities and taking care of Lowen Lowenson.
Excellent. Thank you for that answer, Assistant Commissioner. Sam, is something you brought up I want to circle back to. When the Constitution was established for the Pong Stars Fantasy Football League back in 2019, we had a punishment for the loser of the losers bracket. And in the past, when you lost, you refused to do one of the many options of the punishment that was established in the original Constitution before amendments. How can we as a league trust you to adhere to the Constitution in other ways if you were assistant commissioner, if you did not in the past?
As you would actually look at the Constitution that with those punishments, I did actually I didn't have to do it because the league did not adhere to some of the rules that the league also had to adhere to have the punishment happen. I know we had talked about doing a 5K up at St. Joe. The plan was in place. Nobody from the league wanted to join, and thus part of the punishment in the original drafts was to have the group get together to do such a thing, like we did with the stand-up comedy, like you did with Thomas's calendar. There were parts of the group that were there. So in all retrospect, like part of it was the league didn't want to join. So thus I just didn't feel like it was necessary to do anything if nobody else wanted to. And then the other part of it is too, like, I didn't tank. There was no ill will. There was no cheating, colluding, or anything like that. And that is really the point of the punishment, is to deter any additional selling off of players, any collusion, anything like that. And since there was no evidence of any of that happening, I just felt like it was not a necessary part of it. And that's why I helped push the change that we have now.
Certainly seems to be some revisionist history there, but we'll let the voters decide. All right, let's go on to a couple of questions for both of you. We'll start with Assistant Commissioner Lawrenson. What is one change in the league that you would implement or advocate for should you be elected an assistant commissioner?
I would like to advocate for bringing back fun punishments and people actually committing said punishment once they lose in the losers bracket. Because I, for one, if I would have lost, I would have loved to get a tattoo like on my butt or something like that. I would have thought that that was really fun. or even to do, a stand-up show, but I don't know if I would have been able to do that since Sam picked it. I can't remember if we were allowed to do
You were. Yeah.
same picks. So I would have liked to try my hand up on stage. But alas, now we don't get to do punishments anymore because some people in the league who will not be named didn't do their punishments. And so they ended up kind of falling to the wayside. So I would like to bring those back and maybe offer more options for punishments so that if somebody wants to do something maybe a little easier or not as intense as signing up for a 5K or trying to sign up to go to an open mic night or schedule a tattoo with an artist. Maybe something that's a little more easily obtainable and still fun, just so that people are more inclined to actually do it because it doesn't seem so daunting to have to do some of the punishments that were available, because some of them were certainly more harder to pick than the others, in my opinion. So kind of looking back at it and seeing which ones people would have liked to see and maybe adding some more so that there's a big list to pick from would be nice, because I did enjoy going to see Sam perform at the open mic night. I thought that was a great experience. So I feel like we're kind of missing out on stuff like that if we forego the punishments. So that'd be something that I would advocate for this year as assistant commissioner, should I be reelected.
Thank you. Treasurer Olson, same question to you. What's one change that you would be looking to implement or advocate for in a league-wide vote?
I think the biggest one would be looking at with the roster reshuffle, if you will, after, is it before the 2026 season or in the 2026 season?
Prior to the 2026 season.
26 season. Okay. I think before that reshuffle, I think the biggest thing I would like to implement for is a change in the lineup and roster spots in general, as to what our starting lineups look like, whether it be the addition of a second quarterback, whether it be more flex spots, whether it be individual defensive players, something along those lines of how we want to restructure the league going forward. And with the complete redraft here on the horizon, I think this season is the time to really advocate for how we want that to look like going into next off season. So that would be my number one change is getting something that all parties in this league are excited about going into that redraft, and really making that redraft strategy completely different with how the league looks beyond that reshuffle.
That brings us into our next question. So thank you for the segue, Treasurer Olson. This assistant commissioner, which one of you will be elected, will be in power during the 2026 reshuffling, as that will happen prior to the assistant commissioner elections of that August. The big question that we would have for you as assistant commissioners is, do you feel comfortable presiding over a debate of that roster change should the commissioner who's elected next year be one of the proponents or opponents of a proposed rules change? And we'll start with Sam.
Yes, I feel very confident that I would be able to handle such a task. I've been an official before in my other lines of work. I have that quality of being able to be calm, cool, collected, and keep order when necessary. So I think I would, one, be able to handle that, and two, would actually really like the ability to do so, because I think, like I said in my last answer, that is something I'm really excited about, is what this league and what our lineups are going to look like after this reshuffle, because it's going to completely change how that draft process works, how the teams want to move around in this next season. Before that redraft, I think that is going to be something that we really need to take order of here early in this season is so that trades going on throughout this year are made in the light of what is going to happen coming up. So I think that is something that's really important, and I think being able to oversee a debate and rules changes is something I can certainly do.
Over to you, Assistant Commissioner Lawrenson. Same question. Do you feel comfortable presiding over that debate should the need arise?
Of course, Assistant Commissioner Eichton. I call myself a master debater, if you will. And every day I'm shuffling, so I would be well equipped to handle the shuffling that goes on. And I'd even be willing to play devil's advocate for people that are maybe wanting to advocate for a lesser, a smaller voice for an opinion when it comes to which positions are wanting to be played.
Second tight end.
Since Thomas would probably kill us if that were the case. He's got the tightest of tight ends.
We've all seen the pictures.
We've all seen. We've
true.
all heard the stories. I've got the messages, but I won't leak those emails. But and since I'm not really too, I feel like my coming from a place where I'm haven't been in a lot of fantasy football leagues would be beneficial as well, since I'm open to change and I'd be willing to try whatever anybody else is wanting to come up with, just as long as we all are able to come to a bipartisan agreement in the end to make that final decision, whatever ends up getting shuffled around and what decisions need to be made.
Excellent. All right. Back to you, Assistant Commissioner, for the next question. In our final question, before we move on to closing comments, I would like you to name one thing you respect about your opponent in this debate, and then all the reasons why you should not vote for that person. And we'll start with you, Assistant Commissioner.
Thank you. I love Sam because he's just a genuinely nice guy. And so I don't really feel comfortable mudslinging against him or trying to run some kind of aggressive expose on him. So that's what I like about him. It's hard to come up with any cons when it comes to Sam. I feel like either of us would make a great assistant commissioner. Obviously, I think I'd be a little bit better. If not just because Sam, you could be called Sleepy Sam. So that's like the only thing that I got is Sleepy Sam. He's falling asleep over here. But yeah, I mean, I get along with him great. I had a great time when we met up at Original Pancake House a while ago. So can't say too many bad things about him.
All right, over to you, Sam. One thing that you respect about your opponent and all the reasons why we should not vote for him in the upcoming election.
I mean, I think the thing I respect Lucas for the most is his willingness to give of his time, even with everything that's going on in his life. I think having a kid, going back to work, all of this stuff coming at the end of summer, going into football season, would have been any reason for any one of us to say, you know what, I don't need to do this debate tonight. I don't need to try and run a campaign to be assistant commissioner for another 2 years. But the fact that Lucas wants to do it, wants to be a part of leading this group, I think is really admirable. And I mean, he's been a great assistant commissioner for the last 2 years. I can't imagine him not doing well in the next 2 years. That being said, I would love to have my crack at it as well. That's no disrespect to Lucas. I think he has done a great job. And I think that's, yeah, like I said, like he said, we're friends, we like each other. And at the end of the day, both of us are doing this to make sure that this group stays together and make sure that this still is a fun thing to do. At the end of the day, it's fantasy football. I mean, Lucas can attest to it more probably than I can. your priorities change as we get older. And I'm not saying that this should ever fall way down there, but like there are things that come above fantasy football, and keeping that perspective. I think Lucas is doing a really great job at that. And yeah, there's nothing bad I can say about him either.
Sounds good. I gave you both the opportunity for an attack ad there, but it sounds like neither of you are man enough to take it. Let's go to closing comments now.
Wow, this is
Treasurer
an aggressive interview, not even a hi, hello, how do you do?
Treasurer Olson, we're going to go to your closing comments. Up and over to you.
Like I said throughout this entire interview, I'm just really thankful to have all you guys as friends, and the fact that we can do something like this year in and year out, not only from a fantasy football enjoyment and being able to watch games on Sundays that have a little bit of meaning to us, but the fact that our group message stays in contact year round. It's not all about football. It's not all about one thing or the other. We are all just truly friends, and want to hear from each other all the time. Being the one who lives farthest away, it is a really, really nice touch point with all of you guys throughout the summer, throughout the winter. Football season makes it even more fun because we're in more contact with everything going on. But as I say, as the one who moved away, this really does mean a lot. That we still come together, that we still try and get together for the golf stuff, for random football weekends, going up to St. John's hopefully this fall for a football game, and being able to tailgate and do the college thing again, and just all of that. And that's really why I wanted to run for this, is just to help keep it going. I know as we all get older, and new priorities come into our lives as kids come, and all of this stuff and moves, and all of these things come and go in our lives, that I want to make sure that this stays, and that we make sure we make decisions that make all of us want to stay a part of it. I never want this to get old. I never want this to get to be something that people don't want to do, or that it's just another thing to check off the list on a Sunday morning before noon. I really want it to be something that's fun, that sustains for a really, really long time. And that's why I want to be your assistant commissioner.
Well said. Assistant Commissioner Lawrenson, your case for re-election.
Yeah, very similar to my good friend Treasurer Olson here. It's just that this league is just such a great time. It's a great form of escapism as well, to just kind of, block out the things going on in the world, and shoot the shit with your friends when it comes to football, and talking about great trades, bullshit trades, stuff going on in the league with the players, the injuries, complaining about them. All that kind of stuff is just a great time. And it's gotten me more invested in football than almost more than when I was playing football, because it's just so much fun to be in this community of guys. Everyone here's great gentlemen, and being the assistant commissioner has been a lot of fun. And I just love running. And my previous campaign, it was just a lot of fun to make commercials and do silly stuff like that. So I wish I would have had more time this election cycle to make commercials and stuff like that, but I've been quite busy, and a lot of us are, like Sam was saying, it's just kind of the season of life that we're in, when things start to get a little more serious, and we've got more pressing matters to attend to. But at the end of the day, it is really fun to open up Sleeper and move things around, and get hyped for those matchups that we got coming up. So I'm very excited for this season, and I'd love to be assistant commissioner once again to this fantastic league, my favorite fantasy football league that I've ever been a part of.
Excellent. Thank you both for the time you took this evening to join us for the Pong Stars Assistant Commissioner debate. For voters, as a reminder, voting will be due on August 13th at 7 p.m. That's when polls will close, 7 p.m. Central Time. That's when polls close. And if you are still in line at 7 p.m. Central, stay in line. You will be able to vote. With that, we thank both of you once again, and we will see you all at the start of the season.
The rat hole. The rat hole.